I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to play hardball with China. I'm going to play hardball with you, President Xi. No. We're going to be very nice. They're going to be very nice. And we'll see what happens. But ultimately, they have to make a deal because otherwise they're not going to be able to deal in the United States.
So Donald Trump and his administration are set to close a deal with China and are negotiating new trade deals with 34 countries, which is causing a massive rebound in the crypto market, with a lot of projects up anywhere between 20 to 50% the past week. Plus, with US banks now able to legally engage in crypto-related activities, many people are preparing for a massive explosion in the crypto market. So in today's video, we're getting into the Bitcoin to the US dollar price chart. We're talking about the entire altcoin market as well too, specifically for projects like XRP, SUI, Solana, and what needs to happen in order for this bullish momentum to continue to the upside, breaking down Tether's market cap dominance compared to the Bitcoin price chart, the US dollar index, and what happened last bull run cycle for confluence on the chart to what's happening now. Because with the entire crypto market cap sitting at only $2.9 trillion in the stock market as of January 1st, sitting at approximately $128 trillion, with US stocks accounting for roughly 62.2 trillion of that figure, many are arguing that we are about to see a $10 trillion surge of liquidity into the crypto market over the next few years. And if you know how to position yourself properly, you can make a lot of money before the next major crash happens. So if you guys are feeling bullish, comment 777. If you're feeling blessed, comment 777. Let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So we're giving away $100 worth of XRP this Sunday. And if you want a shot at winning, it's super easy. We made this post on Twitter. All you need to do is like this post, comment XRP below, and then sign up for Blowfin using our affiliate link. You'll see a link for that in the description down below this video. And the winner is going to be announced on our daily email newsletter this Sunday. So every single person who subscribes to the newsletter also gets our free ebook. It's called Altcoin Secrets, the underground guidebook to become a crypto millionaire. You just click the button on the page, put in your best email address, and click send my free ebook. You'll be subscribed to the newsletter. You'll get the book for free, and you'll qualify for the XRP giveaway as long as you complete those 3 steps by liking the post on Twitter, commenting XRP below, and then signing up for Blowfin using our affiliate link. And hey, even if you don't win, everyone that subscribes gets our free ebook to discover the 23 secrets to pinpoint explosive altcoins before the crowd piles in, timing your entries and exits like a pro, knowing when markets are overvalued or oversold. You're going to discover how to build a bulletproof portfolio to create true wealth that allows you to break free from the rat race and outsmart the 99%. Because over the past 9 years that we've been in crypto, we've discovered what the 1% know, and we share it with you inside this book. So check it out. Worst case scenario, you get the book, you don't win, you still get some value out of it. And hey, maybe it's your lucky day. Maybe you win some XRP. So we appreciate you guys for supporting the channel, and we want to give back to you. If this giveaway goes well, maybe we do this every single week. Because as the crypto market continues to grow over the next few years and more people dive in to learn about altcoins, we're going to see massive mainstream adoption by the end of this year through the ISO standard and what I'm going to explain to you guys throughout the course of this video. So pay close attention, because when Trump enacted these tariffs, it caused one of the sharpest pullbacks we've seen this bull run thus far. And now Trump's administration is closing deals with China and negotiating with 34 plus countries, bringing more confidence to investors to start putting their money back into risk-on assets. So let's dive into the price chart for Bitcoin to the US dollar and talk about what's happening. Before we do, listen to this.
Spoke to our entire trade team this morning. There is a lot of progress being made. We now have 18 proposals on paper that have been brought to the trade team. Again, these are proposals on paper that countries have proposed to the Trump administration and to our government. You have Secretary Bessent, Secretary Lutnick, Ambassador Greer, NEC Director Hassett, and Peter Navarro, the entire trade team, meeting with 34 countries this week alone. We are moving at Trump speed to ensure these deals are made on behalf of the American worker and the American people. And just yesterday, it seemed to get a little bit lost in the news, and I think it's a disservice to the American public that it did. The Vice President announced terms of reference for a trade deal with India. That is a big deal. We know when we look at the numbers, the monetary trade barriers and the non-monetary trade barriers from India, they have been ripping off the United States and American workers for a very long time. So the fact that the Vice President with Prime Minister Modi on that trip in India announced these terms of reference, which is essentially a framework to move the ball forward to sign a good trade deal between our two nations, is great progress, and it speaks to the work ethic and the real labor that's being put into this effort by the president's trade team.
So with negotiations happening behind closed doors, they are basically having to save face right now, and China is making a big deal with the United States. And that's right on cue with banks now legally being able to engage in crypto related activities like crypto custody, stablecoin reserves, using distributed ledger technology, and stablecoins for payments being legally permissible, which is set to bring a wave of mainstream investors back into the crypto market that have been sitting on the sidelines since last bull run.
Digital assets are firmly ingrained in the financial services landscape. Today, more than 50 million people own cryptocurrency, and hundreds of businesses engage in cryptocurrency and require banking services. National banks and federal savings associations are well positioned to support crypto asset activities from within the federally regulated banking sector. I'm pleased that recently the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency clarified that certain crypto-related activities, including crypto asset custody, holding deposits as reserve backing stablecoins, and using distributed ledger technology and stablecoins for payment activities are all legally permissible. The OCC also confirmed its expectation that banks conducting novel crypto activities do so with appropriate risk management processes in place. This action reduces regulatory burden, encourages responsible innovation, and enables banks to leverage new technology and innovative ways to serve their clients and customers.
So now that banks have the green light to serve customers in crypto, what do you guys think that means for every single American that holds US dollars in a bank account when the crypto market is breaking out? Well, that's going to cause so much FOMO back into the market. And we talked about this breakout on the Bitcoin price chart a few days ago after this bullish divergence where the price chart made a lower low on the 6th of April. If you guys didn't see those previous videos on the channel, definitely go check them out. But moving forward, here's what we're looking at for Bitcoin to the US dollar price chart. We're rallying just above this zone of resistance right here. And at some point, we will see a pullback in Bitcoin, depending on how much higher it goes. If we look back to the past, we can see back here in 2017 what happened when Bitcoin pulled back from about $3,000. We saw it drop all the way down here to about $1,800, and it was a quick V-shaped recovery until inevitably Bitcoin broke this descending resistance, consolidated on top of it as support. We saw this back test right here by the 28th of August of 2017, and then the price chart coiled up in a symmetrical triangle before breaking the previous high by the 5th of August, rallied all the way upwards of $5,000 before the next major correction happened. So that's my expectations for Bitcoin over the next few weeks. Depending on how much higher Bitcoin goes, let's say we push up to $100,000 or we start to pull back from where we're at right now, I would expect Bitcoin to chop on top of $88,000 for an extended period of time, giving it enough time for major key indicators like the stochastic RSI enough time to reset, because the K line's at 100, the D line is at 99. We are in overbought territory right now on the daily chart. And looking back to the past, we saw the stochastic RSI come all the way up here at about 90 for the K line. We didn't quite make it to as high as we are right now. And then we saw this major pullback right here on top of the descending resistance and the horizontal resistance as support, consolidating for roughly 16 days before continuing higher. And so I would expect there to be a pullback, which would be completely normal because after the past few days of this massive bullish price action for Bitcoin, let's say we push a little bit higher. Well, that's just going to bring the stochastic RSI for the D line closer and closer to 100. The K line is as high as it's going to get at 100. Eventually, it's going to need to pull back in the short term, and that would look like what we've seen happen several times in the past. So we'll see how steep the pullback is. It doesn't necessarily need to pull all the way back down, back to the low of April, because if the low's in right there, then we're just going to see Bitcoin range over the next week to two when the pullback happens. And when Bitcoin starts to pull back, the entire altcoin market will probably pull back as well too. So altcoins are actually lagging behind. Bitcoin is breaking out a lot more than altcoins. As you can see, the altcoin market is at 1.03. So if Bitcoin continues higher, I would expect the altcoin market to rally into this zone of resistance up to $1.1 trillion before we see some type of pullback and consolidation in the short term over the next week or two. And everyone wants to know, what does this mean for XRP? Well, if Bitcoin starts to pull back right now and doesn't rally any higher in the short term, and we start to see an aggressive pullback in Bitcoin's price back down below $90,000, well, then the rally for total 2 might be cut short, and we actually might come back down to $960-ish billion and ride this descending resistance as support, consolidating alongside Bitcoin before Bitcoin makes the next move higher, which would cause the next breakout for the altcoin market. So even though we're going to see trillions of dollars injected into the entire market over the next few years, on the 4-hour chart right now, we still have not seen a trend reversal until we clear roughly $1.1 trillion and hold it as support. And Bitcoin also needs to hold above this $91,000 zone of support for at least a few weeks, in my opinion, because if we get rejected and over the next few days, we come back down below it. It's very similar to what happened for the Trump pump when he announced the strategic reserve, where like one day we saw this massive pump up and then the next day we saw it drop all the way back down. This was not a decisive move to hold above this zone of support. And so right now, I would want to see Bitcoin push higher. I want to see it go up to like $99,000, $100,000 and then pull back and hold on top of this zone. Right now, we're in danger land because we're not seeing XRP pump as drastically alongside Bitcoin right now. So if Bitcoin just continues higher, closer to $100,000 over the next day or two, and XRP doesn't see a breakout upwards of $2.50, then I would err you guys on the side of caution for XRP, because when Bitcoin does experience that pullback back down into the zone around $91,000, that could hit XRP even harder as it drops back down closer to $2, riding on top of this descending resistance as support. So I do think the low for XRP though is in at $1.60. I don't believe we're going to drop below that low until the bear market kicks in towards the end of this year. But I do think it's going to take some time to get out of this range above $2.50 until we see a major rotation take place. Not for Bitcoin though, for the US dollar index and also Tether's market cap dominance. For example, if we look at the DXY at the top of the screen compared to Bitcoin to the US dollar at the bottom of the screen, and what happened all the way back here on the 1st of December of 2017, well, as you guys can see, the US dollar was in a full-fledged downtrend, and shortly after that, it bottomed out right here on the 1st of February after Bitcoin had topped out. So the dollar has been inversely correlated on the macro compared to Bitcoin and crypto. We're on the monthly chart right now. And after Bitcoin topped out and the dollar bottomed out, the dollar made a recovery during the entire bear market upwards of 98. And as you guys can see right here, there was a zone of support roughly at about 95 for the dollar ever since the bear market low was in for Bitcoin around December of 2018. As you can see, all through the early phase of that bull market for DeFi summer when Bitcoin rallied all the way through COVID, the DXY bounced off of this key support around 95 until right here on the 1st of July of 2020. This was a key moment because the dollar broke down and dropped from 97 all the way down to 92, broke below the support, saw this short-term temporary bounce right here, while Bitcoin consolidated between $12,000 to like $9,000, $10,000 until the end of 2020. The dollar attempted to make a recovery right here, all the way back to about 94. It was a failed recovery, and the dollar continued to the downside, bottoming out at around 89 to 90 when the crypto market broke out. And so what happened here? Well, by the top of that rally on the 1st of April right here, look at what happened to the dollar. They saw a double bottom shortly after that, very similar to the high of the 1st of December of 2017. The dollar bottomed out after Bitcoin reached a high. So sure enough, Bitcoin reaches a high on the 1st of April 2021. The dollar bottoms out about a month after that. Then what happened? All through the entire bear market, well, this was just simply the B wave in the recovery wave for Bitcoin, where we saw the high on the 1st of April. We saw the 60% sell-off for altcoins right here by the 1st of June. This double top right here for Bitcoin was the recovery complacency stage high. It just happened to be higher than the previous high. And then we saw the C wave all the way down here to the bear market bottom by November of 2022. Look at the top of the screen on what happened to the dollar. The dollar rallied from 89 all the way up here to about 114. Then Bitcoin bottomed out and the dollar saw a very aggressive pullback to this support right here that it has been riding since the 1st of January 2023. So this is roughly around 100. Very similar to the support that we saw during that bear market of 2018. The dollar rode along the support and then broke below it on the 1st of July of 2020. So the real question is, with the dollar pulling back very aggressively since the 1st of January 2025 from 109, we're right now sitting at 99. If we break below 100 by the 1st of May, and we see the dollar drop even lower into the mid 90 region, it could be very, very similar to what happened back here by like the 1st of August until the 2nd of November of 2020. Where if the dollar closes below 100 and we see an attempted recovery back into this zone right here, that is currently support as resistance, well, then we could see leading into the end of the year, the DXY further dropping to the downside, similar to what we saw during the last explosive breakout for Bitcoin and the altcoin market. And this would be right along cue with Tether's market cap dominance dropping as well too, because you guys can also notice right here, since the 1st of November of 2022, during the bear market bottom, well, that's when Tether topped out, because then liquidity started to flow out of Tether and into Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market to start this bullish uptrend. And we've just been making higher highs and higher lows this entire bull market on the monthly chart, whereas Tether's market cap dominance has been doing the exact opposite. On the top of the screen right here, you can see Tether's dominance has just been making lower highs. And on the monthly candle close from the 1st of March to the 1st of April, you can see we are getting rejected from this descending resistance. So if we see Tether's dominance continue to the downside, similar to what we saw after the DXY broke down from that key support and broke below the support, well, that was right around the same time, by the 1st of September, that Tether's dominance topped out and dropped from about 4.6% all the way down here to about 1.92% while Bitcoin was breaking out. So during the last bear market, we saw Tether's dominance making higher highs and also higher lows in this rising wedge until we saw Tether break this key support at roughly 6.42% on the 1st of December of 2023, when Bitcoin started to break out from like $40,000 all the way up here to about $73,000. You can see Tether's dominance dropped below support and dropped all the way to 3.8%. And it's just been trying to recover, and these have been failed recovery rallies. So the bears are in control of Tether's market cap dominance, and this rally that has happened since the 1st of December for Tether's dominance is just simply a recovery rally in a downtrend, which is actually really bullish for Bitcoin and the rest of the altcoin industry if Tether's dominance gets rejected from these levels and continues to the downside. Because as you can see all the way back here during the bear market of 2018, we can see Tether's dominance did the same thing. We made higher highs up until the 1st of September of 2020, and we also made higher lows in this rising wedge until we broke down from this ascending support on the 1st of November of 2020. When Bitcoin was breaking out, Tether was breaking down. So now that we're at a very key point for Bitcoin in the macro on the monthly, well, coincidentally enough, the dollar is breaking down. If we zoom in here on Tether's market cap dominance chart, you can see that Tether actually pushed up to this horizontal resistance, almost making it to about 6.4%, wicked off of it, and then the candle body close was at like 5.4%, which tells me the next few months for Tether's market cap dominance are actually going to be bearish. So with Tether's market cap sitting at $145 billion, I would expect some of that liquidity and some of that volume to come out of Tether and start flowing into the large cap projects, XRP being one of them, and also another one of them being SUI. The reason why is because Grayscale is properly positioning themselves by filing for ETFs, for XRP ETFs, and also they just introduced the Grayscale SUI Trust, open to eligible accredited investors. Listen to this.
I'm Rayhana Sharif Askari, Head of Product and Research at Grayscale Investments. Welcome to Grayscale SUI Trust. I'm excited to tell you why we chose SUI for one of Grayscale's signature private placement products available to eligible accredited investors. The creation of our private placements furthers Grayscale's decade-plus legacy of helping investors navigate the new and evolving crypto asset landscape. We lean into our crypto expertise to create products that give investors access to projects with a compelling investment thesis in the form of a familiar security, always looking around the corner so investors don't have to. Our approach to new asset selection is forward-looking, analytical, and data-driven. We skate to where we think the puck is going to be. To help achieve that, we identify assets that align with the overarching themes driving Grayscale crypto product creation. These themes include the intersection of crypto and AI, the ability for crypto to transform traditional finance, and scalability and better user interface as stepping stones to mass adoption. When selecting projects to add to our existing product suite, we follow a comprehensive process which includes a dual lens evaluation, taking a both top-down and bottom-up approach, an evaluation of thematic tailwinds like Bitcoin or Ethereum scaling in beta, the intersection of crypto and AI, growth in decentralized finance in a potentially lower rate environment, the proliferation of third-generation blockchains, and the growth within the Solana ecosystem. Finally, we also conduct a detailed examination of the fundamentals of a project, as measured by factors consistent with how investment opportunities are evaluated in traditional finance, as well as crypto and blockchain-specific valuation metrics. With this process in mind, let's turn our attention to SUI and share the reasons why we created Grayscale SUI Trust. SUI is a blockchain designed for globally scalable transactions, seamless Web2 integrations, private data storage, and simplified asset management across blockchains, targeting applications in finance, gaming, AI, and everyday applications. Created by the team behind Facebook's Diem project, SUI aims to deliver rapid transaction speeds, private data storage, password recovery, offline peer-to-peer transactions, and easy accessibility with Web 2 accounts like Google and Twitch, eliminating the need to manage complex passwords. By working to streamline asset control across blockchains and off-chain infrastructures, SUI intends to simplify the management of multiple blockchains and payment systems. In addition, SUI has developed a physical device for playing popular Web 2 games and new Web 3 games with seamless blockchain integration. They're also set to onboard real-world assets with a fast, transparent trading platform, and their private on-chain data storage aims to ensure secure, private, and integrity-verified AI data sharing. We believe SUI is well-positioned to attract new crypto users with its seamless blockchain experience and advanced technology, catering to both beginners and experts. By leveraging its team's years of experience, SUI develops high-performance systems designed for real-world applications on a global scale. Not only does SUI offer sub-second transaction speeds, but it also provides private on-chain data storage, easy account creation with Web 2 logins, password recovery, and even peer-to-peer transactions that work without an internet connection. By ranking among the fastest and most cost-effective blockchains, SUI stands out against its competitors within the top 5 smart contract platforms by market capitalization.
So in my video less than a week ago, we talked about this breakout for SUI from this descending resistance when SUI was at about $2.12. And right along schedule, that breakout happened and bam, massive green candle comes in here. Now, I do have to warn you guys because if Bitcoin starts to pull back relatively soon, then the entire altcoin market would pull back, SUI included. So I don't like to buy into these massive breakout candles because we usually see pullbacks happen in the short term. So the zone that I'm watching right here for SUI to pull back into is roughly $2.45-ish. And if we look back to the last bull run, what happened when SUI started to break out, we saw an attempted recovery rally into this descending resistance. It failed. SUI made a lower low while the stochastic RSI was actually breaking out to the upside. Then SUI broke out. We saw this massive wick up here on this breakout candle to $1.10. And then the candle closed at like 80 cents on a pullback. And so just because SUI's breaking it right now on the weekly, this candle will close on the 28th of April. So we still have about 5 days left to see. So I would expect there to be a pullback in the short term and for SUI to ride on top of this horizontal support at roughly $2.45, $2.50. Again, guys, the price doesn't move exactly to a support. It moves within a zone. So you guys can see last breakout for SUI, when we broke out of this descending resistance, we also broke well above this horizontal resistance right here. We came back down to backtest it as support. The candle closed just barely below it. And then we saw some massive volatility. Even the candle body closed as well too the next following week, all the way down here at 75 cents on the 2nd of September, riding on top of this descending resistance, but yet putting in a higher low than the 5th of August. But it's not textbook perfect, right? We don't have to hold on top of the support. We just saw a consolidation for a few weeks until boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 aggressive green candles back up to the previous high right here, even a little bit above it, and then another major pullback. So this is what I would expect for SUI if Bitcoin starts to pull back here soon, or just when Bitcoin starts to pull back. It's not a matter of if. Bitcoin will pull back here soon. So if Bitcoin continues higher, SUI might continue a little bit higher. But when that pullback happens, just be ready. We're going to see some massive volatility over the next few weeks as SUI consolidates to find the low, similar to what happened all the way back here when we broke a key resistance and flipped it and turned it into support. Because as you can see right here, during this downtrend on the 8th of April, there was this massive candle wick right here that the bull stepped in to buy the price back up. That had multiple points of contact for support, like right here on the 13th of May. You can see this massive candle wick as well too. Once we flipped it and turned into resistance on the 15th of July to the 22nd of July, SUI closed right at it and then got rejected for the lower low. And so we saw the same thing happen for this downtrend right here for this wick on the 3rd of February. We saw the bulls step in, buy the price back up, get rejected from this descending resistance, come all the way down here by the 24th of February, wick off of it again. Then we close below it on the 10th of March, come back up into this zone, get rejected from it on this candle body close. We put in a lower low, just like we did right here from the 1st of July to the 5th of August, putting in a lower low. And now we're just attempting a recovery. And so we're watching the stochastic RSI in the weekly to confirm this bullish cross for the D line to pass above 20. Currently right now, it's at 15 while the K line is at 31. So we'll see over the next 1 to 2 weeks if this bullish cross is confirmed. But right now I'm not entering into SUI because I don't buy breakout candles like this because the likelihood of a pullback in the short term is actually very, very high. Now looking at Solana's chart right here, it's looking similar to what happened for Bitcoin all the way back here at the tail end of January going into February of 2024 that I showed you guys at the beginning of this video. When Bitcoin finally broke back above $41,000, we saw it flip this resistance and turn it into support and consolidate on top of it from the end of January on the 29th until the 7th of February. So roughly about 9 days. So as Tether's market cap dominance continues to the downside, I would want to see some of that liquidity flow into Solana to flip roughly $175 resistance and hold it as support. Otherwise, if that doesn't happen and Bitcoin starts to pull back a little bit sooner, we could get rejected from this zone and come back down to consolidate within this range right here between $130 and $150. Because look at the stochastic RSI on the daily. The K line is at 96, the D line is at 94. We are in overbought territory, but that doesn't mean we're going to see a bearish cross and drop below 80 right away, because as you guys can see on this breakout for Bitcoin right here, on the 29th of January, when Bitcoin breached all the way up here to like $43,000 and then came back down to $41,000 and just coiled up in a symmetrical triangle, the stochastic RSI stayed above 80 for both the K line and the D line all the way until the 21st of February, when Bitcoin saw this explosive breakout all the way up here to the 15th of February. It wasn't until that micro pullback back down to like $50,000 that we saw the stochastic RSI reset on the daily all the way down below 80 and even coming all the way down below 20 right here by like the 24th of February. So we could stay above 80 for an extended period of time, even while we consolidate for Solana during the next pullback with Bitcoin. So we're just going to watch the stochastic RSI on the daily. And for me to get a better entry point on Solana, I would want to see it reset below 20, even if Solana breaks all the way back to the all-time high or even goes into price discovery, because right now we're still in a downtrend. And if Bitcoin sees an aggressive pullback, that's going to hit Solana even harder. Because in my video 2 weeks ago, we talked about Solana making a recovery alongside Bitcoin's recovery, with the scenario in blue playing out when Bitcoin put in that lower low for that bullish divergence. And now that Bitcoin is making a recovery, patience is going to be our best friend here to see when that pullback happens for Bitcoin. We need to watch the stochastic RSI resetting and see if it stays above 80 or if it drops below 80 on the next major pullback, leading us into the end of this month. If Bitcoin just keeps ripping higher, upwards of $99,000, $100,000 over the next few days, that is one of the best possible things that we can see, because then in my opinion, we would see a consolidation similar to what we saw back in the 20th of July of 2017 until the 4th of August on top of this key zone as support, which is about $91,000. Because if we pull back down below this right now, then a lot of people are going to be worried because that zone needs to hold as support. So we're teetering on the edge of it right now. I mean, we're at $93,000. $2,000 is not that big of a deal, as you guys can see with how quick the price fluctuates within 24 to 48 hours. What I want to see for Bitcoin is for us to push higher in the short term, leading us closer to the previous all-time high, kind of like what we saw on the 12th of June of 2017 to like 2,900. Bitcoin pushed all the way up here, almost up to it, and then saw an aggressive pullback back down to this descending resistance and this horizontal support, bouncing off of it, allowing the stochastic RSI to reset back closer to 50. The stochastic RSI doesn't have to come all the way down below 20 to reset, because during a bull market on these major breakouts, the stochastic RSI spends most of its time above 50 to 80. That's why we need to watch horizontal zones of support and not just look at the key indicators. We match them for confluence here. If Bitcoin pulls back into this zone of support after seeing an aggressive rally over the next few days and comes back down to $90,000 and $91,000, and the stochastic RSI drops all the way below 20, that is absolutely perfect for an entry point for Bitcoin to rebound off of it. The problem arises if we don't hold above $90,000, because the smartest time to accumulate on the macro is when key indicators like the stochastic RSI, the relative strength index, the MACD are at oversold conditions below 20 or 30, especially when you pair it with the price chart breaking through key levels of resistance, flipping it, turning it into support, while the stochastic RSI resets back below 20 after a key breakout. So what that would look like for Solana, again, this is no guarantees here because this is just pure speculation, but this is what I would want to see. I would want to see Bitcoin continuing higher, closer to $99,000 to $100,000, and I would want to see a major move for total 2 that would mean Solana breaking out, XRP breaking out, SUI even pushing a little bit higher. And over the next month, I would want to see Solana break above the $175 resistance, flip it, turn it into support. And if that happens and the stochastic RSI comes all the way back down on that pullback to backtest as support, if it comes down below 20, that would be excellent confirmation for me of a macro trend reversal, similar to what happened here for Bitcoin all the way back at the end of February of 2024. Although Bitcoin broke out much higher, this is why we need to pair the price chart with the indicator and look for confluence and oversold conditions with breakouts and back tests of previous ranges. But anything could happen over the next few weeks, because if Bitcoin pulls back now, I would just expect Solana, XRP, and SUI to pull back as well too. And this is why we created Altcoin Pro University. So even if we pull back in the short term and you're buying spot positions, or let's say you're longing the market on leverage, you still have other ways to make money in crypto, like DeFi yields, airdrop alerts, other altcoin picks. On top of that, we just launched the ability for you to become a partner of Altcoin Pro University and earn 20% recurring passive income for life just by referring and or marketing Altcoin Pro on your social media account. So this is actually the best way to generate income on the front end, so you guys have more money to invest in crypto no matter what happens to the markets. Because if we pull back and we go lower, well, you need more money on the front end to be able to buy more crypto. The problem is people use their money from their job to buy crypto, and they have to wait till their next payday to be able to accumulate more, rather than starting a side business. So you could do this part-time, or you could do this full-time just by referring and or directly marketing your link on social media. So imagine launching a blockchain/crypto education business that allows you to generate consistent passive income without needing to create hundreds of hours of educational material, without needing to spend tens of thousands of dollars per month to hire your own research team to watch the markets 24/7 to keep you safe from different crypto scams out there, on top of new opportunities like altcoin picks, airdrop alerts, DeFi picks, different daily crypto news, without need to manage any customer support, without needing to make any of the sales videos to convert traffic, without needing to hire, train, or manage full-time employees. So you can create your own full-fledged business that you can run from anywhere in the world without any loans or massive franchise fees like what it would cost to open up like a Jimmy John's or McDonald's or Burger King. That'd be minimum $1 million. And you gotta deal with the stress of in-store location problems and all the employees and all that stuff. It's a nightmare. So when you join Altcoin Pro University and you start promoting, you're not just earning, you're helping others escape the chaos and confusion of the crypto space, because we solve the biggest problem in crypto: proper education. Millions of people, guys, around the world, they're actively seeking all kinds of expert guidance. And as banks have been giving the green light to be able to provide crypto services to their clients, even more people are going to be coming in the market. So we are in one of the fastest growing industries in the world, and you could join Altcoin Pro University through the link below. You become a partner. Watch this video that was just posted in there. It's only 3 minutes long. It explains how you can get your partner link. And I even just finished a brand new sales video for you guys. So when you share your link, this video will do all the explaining for you. It's about 13 minutes long. All you need to do is just get people to click your link, watch this video, and it'll do the converting for you. And then you get paid 20% lifetime commissions. And we have about a 20% upgrade rate to the annual, because it's either pay monthly for 97 bucks a month. Super cheap, very affordable. People can pay as they go. There's no contracts, there's no commitments. We have a 14-day money-back guarantee too. And then we have a 20% take rate on the annual. So $970 a year, you save $194, you unlock exclusive bonuses. So let's say you get started on the monthly, you start sharing your link, and a few of your customers upgrade to annual, you get paid on those. So you can pretty much get your membership paid off by sharing as a partner and benefit from all of the value that's included on the inside. And if it doesn't work for you, or you're not happy and you don't get results, then just ask for a refund within your first 14 days. And the worst case scenario is you walk away knowing more than you know right now and becoming a better trader. So check it out. I know you guys are gonna love it. And make sure you enter into the XRP giveaway before Sunday. This video is coming out on Wednesday. And so if you want to win $100 worth of XRP, like the post on Twitter, comment XRP below, and sign up for Blowfin using our referral link in the description below this video. And then we'll announce the winners on our video newsletter, which will also be in the link in the description below. You're going to get the free Altcoin Secrets Guidebook, and you'll be able to learn more about Altcoin Pro University. So we're backing up our truck all the way to the bank, grabbing the bags, packing them and stacking them, leaving no bags left behind, because we believe the spending power of the dollar is going down in value. That's a fact based on what I just showed you for the DXY. Also, the Federal Reserve monetary print orders from the Treasury are devaluing the dollar, causing blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology, and cryptocurrencies to go up in value. That's the truth. And together, we're all running to the top. I will see you guys in the next video. I will see you through the links below. As always, you know what to do. Stay bullish.